I was trying to see how long I could go for. Not that long, apparently. Please hold. Bam, 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 bam. Hello. Did I set this up correctly? Oh, this is how we find out. I did. Yum, 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 yum. Ba-bam, bam, 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 ba-bam, bam, 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 ba-da-dum. Hold on. Hospital. Hello. Hi. Hey. How's it going? Hi. How are ya? Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sometimes I wish I were a bird. Just kidding, I hate birds. It is I, the one and only bunny-eared cryptid, invading the airwaves, your earballs, and the internet. Etro! Hey there, how you doing? Welcome to today's Papaya stream, where it's actually not a Papaya stream. It's Etro Radio. It's literally Etro Radio. I have an entire title for this series, and yet I never call it by its title. And now it's a Papaya stream. I'm sorry, my headphones, these are not like expensive headphones by any means. They're like pretty memes. They're pretty cheap headphones, but their cable gets like twisted all the fucking time. And it bothers me greatly to the point where I end up getting distracted while I'm sitting here, right? And I have to detangle it. What do you mean the game is Stranova? I'm literally just chatting. Entertainment. There we go. Restrictions, none. Save. Okay. There is no game. I'm entertaining you. I'm talking about random stuff today. I should have written a list of all of the things I want to talk to you about, but sometimes it feels a little too contrived, and it feels like you're not really getting the real stream of consciousness that is Etro Radio. Sometimes I just like to yap to you guys. I think it's better when you just kind of yap, like, continuously. I know it's nice to have an organized list of the things you want to talk about, and then you talk about those things in that order. But I realize when it comes to me, like, unless they're actually like important announcements or things that I'm like really want you guys to know about, it doesn't really matter. But it's Etro Radio. It's literally a 2-hour podcast of me talking to myself, to you guys, about things that happened in my life, because I'm trying to become more open with people about myself, because I'm pretty sure in a lot of people's eyes, I've realized this about myself. I'm quite the enigma. And I say that in the nicest way possible, because like, I realize, and I do this on purpose, I know I do this purposefully, that a lot of people know of me and like know about me, but don't know anything about me. And it's because I don't tell them anything. Like, the only way that I have found that I really converse with people, even my friends, is that, like, they'll be talking about something, and I will drop in probably the most audacious, most random lore, like the most delicious piece of lore that they've heard in the last 72 hours, and they're just like, what the fuck, Etro? And I'm like, what? I thought it was pertinent to the conversation, and I thought that we were just having a chat. And they're like, yeah, but what do you mean you literally witnessed a kidnapping? Like, how do you witness that shit? And I was like, well, you just have to kind of be there, and it kind of happens. And they're like, what, did you tell anybody? I was like, well, yeah. And then I'm telling you guys now because, you know, we were having a conversation about people fearing being kidnapped. And I thought, you know, this is a great time to talk about that time that, like, I witnessed a kidnapping. And they're like, oh, why didn't you tell us what had happened? And I was like, well, I didn't really want to interrupt, and you guys weren't really talking about it, so, I didn't really find it important, and I was like, you know, I'll just log this away for later. I'm sure that, you know, it'll be important information later. If someone ever asks me, he's like, hey, how was your day? And I just go, well, after I went grocery shopping, I, like, literally, like, watched this woman being, like, kind of, like, shoved into a car, and then, like, I thought that was weird. And then, like, a day later, but, you know, you mind your business. And then, like, a day later, like, her family comes up to me, and they're like, hey, we're looking for this exact person. She was last seen yesterday at this apartment complex. Do you know this person? And I was like, oh, yeah, I saw her yesterday. I mind my business so much that, like, literally, like, things like that happen. And I'm just like, that's weird. Because, like, here, you never know. And I'll be honest, when I first saw it, it didn't seem, like, harmless. Or it didn't seem harmful at the time. It seemed rather, like, harmless. It seemed like I was witnessing, like, a rather salacious act. Like, a rather, like, rated R activity, like, happening. And so I went, oh, okay, I guess I just wasn't supposed to see that. It's rather lewd. Whatever's happening over that car is pretty lewd. But then the next day, which sucks because we all know that, like, usually the next day is bad news. Or, like, things are looking grim, as you know. But, like, the next day they just happened to stop me. And they're like, hey. And I was like, oh, yeah. Nam, 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 nam. And then I, of course, for no reason at all, started freaking out because I was like, shoot. Did I actually witness something really, really terrible? Which, you know, short answer is yes. And then not realize it was something terrible. And then go, that's none of my business, though. And, like, did I really succumb to bystander mentality? Which is, it's really hard to like, know when to step up. Like, obviously, there are, like, very obvious moments where you should step in and, you know, just kind of, like, turn off your NPC, like, modifier. But when there's moments like that, like, I wish I could replay it for you in my mind. There's moments like that where you're just like, am I? Because most of the time I do overreact to a lot of situations. But, yeah, like, it was fine. Everything worked out in the end. Everything worked out in the end. But, yeah, I think it plays to the fact that, like, I told my friends, like, obviously, like, weeks later after it happened, and they were like, what? You know the meme, or, like, I think it's the meme of the girl who just kind of goes, she's sitting there, and then it zooms on her face, she goes, what? There's that one, or there's the one where it's, like, Tom and Jerry, and you say something, and it kind of slips past, like, your reading comprehension or your listening comprehension, but then you give it a second, like, rinse, and you're like, what? Yeah, that's kind of what happens when I talk to people. So when I talk to you guys during Etro Radio, I think it's kind of cool to just be able to kind of let all of that out, really. Obviously, I do have, like, key points to talk about, but, one of my friends yesterday was making fun of me because they were like, Etro, and I was like, yes. And they're like, are you undiagnosed? And I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, I'm not gonna say in which direction, obviously, but I was trying to buy a blender off of Amazon, and I had been trying to buy this blender off of Amazon for 2 weeks. Okay? It's been in my Amazon cart for 2 weeks because that's how I remind myself that something needs to be bought. If you put something on your Amazon wish list, you're literally throwing it into the fucking ether trash can, okay? And maybe one day you'll come back to it, but we all know that, like, nobody else is looking at your wish list but you, unless you just kind of have that setting set that way. But for me, if I need to remind myself that something needs to be bought, I either have to make a physical list and, like, pop it somewhere where I can physically see it, because if it's in my phone, it doesn't count. Okay, if it's digital, it doesn't count, because I know that, like, when it comes to, like, digital content, it's out of sight, out of mind, right? So, like, I have to have, like, a physical, like, list in front of me, or in my person, or, like, in my pocket, on my person, somewhere, or I have to, like, put it in my Amazon cart. And because I look at Amazon all the time, because there's a lot of cosplays that I want to buy, and like sometimes you go to Amazon first just to check its availability, because there's a lot of times that there are cosplays that are available through Amazon Prime. I have a few on my wish list that I keep forgetting to buy because they're in my wish list and not in my cart. But sometimes I'll put things in my cart so that when I do go back to Amazon, it's like you're already about to spend like X amount of dollars. And I'm like, oh, what? Well, let me check what's in there. Hold on, you know? And I had been trying to buy this very specific blender, which actually should be on its way today, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't matter when. Okay, did I check? No. Because what happened is I told my friends that I had been trying to buy this blender for like 2 weeks. And the reason it came up, genuinely, is because, like, you know how when friends talk, you're all just kind of sitting around chatting with each other. Every once in a while, you just kind of look at your phone, you know, because you get notifications and then you get distracted. So you're still listening. I'm still there. I'm still locked in. Trust me. I'm just looking at my phone, okay? I can't stare at you for too long. My eyes hurt, but trust me, I'm listening, all right? I'm there. And I just happened to go to Amazon, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, and then out of nowhere, because I accidentally, like, say a lot of things out loud, like, out of context. Because I have an inner monologue, right? I have an inner monologue. But sometimes, like, IRL speech slips through. And so I'm on my phone, and I'm looking, and I go, oh, snap! And they're like, what? And I was like, oh, I've been trying to buy this blender for like 2 weeks. And they're like, why? Is it like sold out or something? Like, why have you been trying to buy it for 2 weeks? Is it like, how special is this blender? And I go, no, it's like a $20 blender on Amazon Prime. And I keep forgetting to buy it. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, I keep forgetting to press the buy button. Just in general, because I'll just start looking through Amazon, or I'll start looking on like other apps on my phone, or I'll just do whatever, and like, you know, you just kind of alt tab, or you just look at something else, or you get a notification, you go look at that. And I try not to use Amazon on my PC too much. Because I know I will like spend more money than I should at one time. And so I just like to keep Amazon to on my phone, period. Just so I can just blah, blah, blah. And they were like, well, just buy it. And I was like, well, I'm thinking about it. And they're like, well, okay, it's in your cart. Why are you still thinking about it? Is it not the one you want? And I'm like, no, it's just the one I want. And they go, well, is it like the wrong color? And I was like, no, this is exactly the one I want. It's on Prime. I can get it in like 24 hours if I wanted to. And they're like, okay, well, why haven't you bought it yet? And I was like, well, I've been waiting on trying to find like a protein powder to go with it. But all the protein powder on Amazon is a little bit expensive for my taste, for like what I want it to do. And they're like, okay, well, I just, what? And I'm like, yeah. And then also, I gotta buy oat milk, because I don't really buy like a lot of milk, and then like I'll go and look for these things and I'll get distracted, and then before I know it, I've closed the app. And out of sight, out of mind, all of a sudden, I don't need a blender anymore, right? It's not that I can't afford it, it's not that I don't want it, it's that I'm just that easily distracted. And I'm like, okay, so the blender's already in my cart, it's not gonna go anywhere. It was one of those Black Friday blenders too, so I know they have surplus of it. Yeah, that's why I had it in my cart. I'm like, it's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon, alright? And I'm not getting it as a gift for anybody else, I'm getting it as a gift for myself, so I was like, whatever, it can wait. And then I was like, okay, so the next day, I went to the store and I found protein powder for like about $15 less than what I was looking at online. And I was like, oh snap, let me grab that right up. And so I grabbed it, and I was like, in my head, obviously, threw that into the pile of, hey, I got protein powder, I don't have to get that off of Amazon. Did I immediately go after that and get my blender? No, still in my cart. Another day passes. I have protein powder, and I'm like, wait, I should actually use the protein powder. But then I went, oh, I don't have any kind of like milk or, you know, like a kind of a fat substance. Usually, I used to use ice cream and like bananas and protein powder, and that would make a really, really nice like breakfast shake. But I was like, oh shoot, I don't have any milk. Well, I only have a mini fridge in my room, and they don't really sell like tiny little milk, so I guess I'll hold off on that. But shoot, I guess I gotta grab that before I grab my blender. And you're thinking to yourself, why don't you just use water for your protein shakes? Are you absolutely insane? Are you insane? Okay? Because I'm not drinking protein with water, okay? What am I, homeless? No, okay? Like, that is desperate. Use milk or ice cream. For God's sake, I'm helping you now, okay? And I was like, well, if I get bananas, I can't really put bananas in the refrigerator. Well, unless I chop them up. Then I'd have to go back to the grocery store to get bananas. And I don't really like going outside. So, what do? And then I got distracted by literally anything else. And so, the protein powder sits on my shelf. No milk, no bananas, no mixed fruit. And my blender stays in the Amazon cart, having not been bought. You feel this so much. You have had an SSD hard drive in your cart for like 5 days now, and you finally bought it. I'm so happy for you. But no, it's real, okay? It's so real. Putting things in your cart doesn't mean that you're gonna buy it right away. I wish. Actually, no, I'm kind of glad that I'm like this. I'm kind of glad that I am like this. So I was sitting there, and they were like, wait. So back to my friends, where I'm sitting there just looking at it on my phone, but while they're talking to me, I'm not looking at the blender. I already know what it is. I already know I like it. So I just go to some other page on my phone, and I'm like, ha ha ha. Yeah, no, I like it. I'm gonna get it. But, and they're like, why stop again? And I was like, well, I don't really have any milk. Actually, I should grab some oat milk. And so I started looking up oat milk on Amazon. Like, because you can buy almost anything on Amazon. And I was like, ooh. So I'm looking at oat milk, and I found that you can get like a 6-pack of 32 different ounces of oat milk, and it's shelf stable, and it's only like $30, and it was on Amazon Prime, and I was like, ooh, right, shiny thing. Should I get this? What did you miss? Not much. I was retelling the story about how I witnessed a kidnapping, and now I'm talking about how I low-key. I'm undiagnosed, but pretty sure, but also I can't be trusted with anything. Like, I don't understand how I even remember to stream sometimes. Because of instances like this. And I'm like, ooh, oat milk. Shelf-stable oat milk. And I'm talking to them about it. And then we're like, oh, like, woo. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, so I'm like, look, isn't that great? And I was like, oh, you know what would be great? If I could find banana milk. And they're like, why the fuck do you need banana milk? And I'm like, well, I like bananas with my protein powder, and the protein powder is already vanilla flavored, but I don't really want to go out and buy bananas, because if I just leave them out, they tend to go bad, because I'm really, really bad about eating bananas, because low-key, I don't really like bananas. They're just good for you, but I don't like anything about bananas. I don't think a lady should ever embark upon a whole banana, like, for whatever. I have my reasons, and they are all founded, okay? Solid logic, okay? I just don't eat bananas unless they're like chopped up, mushed up, or put into protein shakes, but I know they're really good for you. But I also know that if you leave them out as they rot, they like release this chemical. I say rot, but like, as they ripen, they release this chemical. I forgot what the chemical is called, but they release this chemical that attracts fruit flies, specifically. And as you know, I am not a pest enjoyer, so no. And even if, okay, and also you're like, well, why don't you just fucking freeze the bananas? And I go, well, because I don't like the way the bananas look when they're frozen. Honestly, they brown, they don't look great, they're not a thing, they're just not a thing. And it's like, why are you even bothering bananas? And I was like, as I mentioned, they're good for you. And they're like, why don't you just use mixed berries and the like? And I was like, because then I would get bored of the flavor. What does it matter how they look? You're just gonna blend them? I cannot. Okay, let me tell you right now. I can't. If it looks rotten to my brain, it is rotten. I will not touch it. I will not eat it. I will not smell it. I will not look at it. I will not use any of my 5 senses on any kind of expired food or soon to be expired food. I can't be bothered. Absolutely not. Cheese smells a little funny, going in the trash. That cucumber's got a little white spot on it, going in the trash. I cannot. I cannot. Okay? Okay? Like, citrus fruits really last forever, and that's the only thing that, like, keeps me going. I'm okay with that. Like, I have, like, a thing of mandarins on my shelf right now. I always grab one of those. But yeah, so even if I freeze them, if I take them out, and before I put them in, they're, like, a little bit brown, and I know what they looked like beforehand, I can't. So I'm like, alright, bananas. well, I don't really like, you know, real bananas. So what if I get banana milk? And I go onto Amazon while I'm having this conversation. By the way, I'm on my phone still the whole time. Like, I have not made eye contact with them. And I'm just like, well, I don't really like eating bananas. And I think everything I've said to you, I've just said it, but in like a more deadpan voice. As if like this just is something logical that everyone else should abide by. Right? So, I'm looking for banana milk now. I've stopped looking for oat milk, the one thing I actually needed to finish out my cart and actually complete my purchase. My 4-day purchase at this point. And I go, ooh, banana milk. Oh, they actually do have banana milk. Oh, but it's so much more expensive than the oat milk. That's insane. Is it shelf stable? I don't know. But I only need one. Do they sell it by itself? $20 for it by itself! Bitch, I might as well get the 6-pack. That's a bit more like, you know, that's just how you save money, right? So I'm doing that out loud, because at this point, I'm talking out loud. and then like my friends go, well, if you don't need any of that, well, if it's too expensive, why don't you just go to the store and just like grab the oat milk like by itself for like $5? And I'm like, you know what? I will do that. And then I put my phone down. You have just that little teaspoon of bougie of the Etro formula. You know, my mom says the same thing. I don't understand why. I don't understand what she means by that. Where the fuck does she think I get it from? But anyway. But yeah. So the funny part about this is I put my phone down. Where I need the phone I need to use to buy a fucking blender. I have yet to buy this blender. And then the other one of my friends on the other side of the table who is just done with my shit at this point because I have created a spectacle. I have derailed the conversation at hand to such a point. And then the main focus of that conversation has not been achieved. And she goes, Etro! Blender! I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. So I pick my phone back up, and I was like, oh, right. Right, oat milk. Should I get oat milk from Amazon, or should I just, like, order it, like... And then she's like, oh my god! And I was like, you don't understand, this is very important. And she's like, buy the fucking blender! And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, buy it or I will buy it for you. Send me the link to the fucking blender. I can't believe it. And I was like, no. I'll just buy it. It's not that big of a deal. So I finally bought it. So, I finally bought... Okay. So I finally bought the blender. Today. No, last night. I'll have you know. It was a very good time. It's a nice little blender. I think it has like a portable cup or whatever. It's only like $20. And now I can have my protein shakes again. And I think you might be asking yourselves, what happened to your last blender? Why are you even going through all of this kerfuffle? Why did it take you 5 days? And technically, it didn't take me 5 days to buy this blender. I am not ashamed to say that it took me like 2 months. No, a month and a half. No, 2 months to buy this blender. Because I realized that my other blender was missing. I don't know where it went. I think I like left it at like the cat sitter's place or something like that. Because back then when I was using it to like grind up food so that Logan could eat. Because he was like very sick at the time. And so I was using the blender to like grind up like chicken stock and dry food and water just so that he would like eat anything, and like using like pumping it into a syringe and all that. So like low-key, that's what I was using the blender for. I was not using it for myself. And I think I left it at the cat sitter's place, and I didn't realize that until maybe about like 2 months ago. And I was like, shoot, I should probably get a new blender. And then 5 days ago, actually not 5 days ago, and then on Black Friday, I noticed, I was like, ooh, cute blender, right? And I was like, ooh, add to the list. I think I will grab that. And then 5 days ago, I finally put it into my cart. And yesterday, last night, I finally bought it. I am, and then, like, after that, after screaming at me, everyone at the table has, like, a good laugh, right? I get the blender, all is great. One of my friends goes, Etro. And I was like, yeah? She's like, are you undiagnosed? Or she didn't say that, but she's like, are you blah, blah, blah? And I was like, why would you think that? I don't know if I said it for the joke. I think a lot of times I say things because it's funny rather than it being true. Like, you could probably, like, ask me a question, and I think most of the time, if I can think of a funnier answer, the funnier answer, like, will come out first before the truth actually comes out. And I think that's so infuriating to people, but it also adds to the reason as to why I'm such an enigma. I have been told that because, like, another reason was they were like, you don't really like horror and gore and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I do not. And they're like, but you recommended Arcane to me, and I watched like the first episode of the second season, and I went back and I was like, Etro, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, yeah, no, it's cool, right? Or you watch the entirety of Shiki, where like at the end of Shiki, I think one of the girls like gets her head run over, and like honestly, the last like 3 episodes of Shiki are incredibly graphic. And I love that anime so much. It's one of my favorite animes of all time. And they're like, what the fuck? How do but you don't like gore? And I was like, oh no. Horror movies, I won't watch them. I will not. Like, I have to close my eyes. I have to, like, you know, I did the little thing where you peep through your fingies. Like that. Like, I'm a baby, okay? And I'm proud. Okay? But yeah, there's that, and they're just like, the more, and then a lot of times, like, you know, as you get to know friends, you tell them about yourselves, you tell them about your experiences, but I don't really do that. I don't really do that. I just kind of, like, I'm vibing, and then if they want to know something about me, they can ask, but I feel like, I personally, this is not true for a lot of people, but I personally feel like sometimes it's rude to, like, just kind of talk about yourself all the time. And, like, because, like, this isn't your moment. Someone else is telling you about themselves and, like, something that happened to them and one of their personal experiences. This is not the time. I feel like, I know, it's weird, but I feel like talking to them kind of, like, talking about myself, even as a tangent, kind of feels like, oh, I'm trying to one-up you in this moment, when in reality, you're just sharing an experience that the two of you have in common that can, like, help deepen your relationship. Yes, I fucking know that. Okay? 2 things can be true at the same time. Okay? That's why I want a shirt that says overthinker. Okay? Because I don't know what it's like. Actually, no, I do know what it's like. I don't know what it's like most of the time to just, like, have no thoughts. Like, if I could just go, that would be fucking great. Okay? Do you know how much easier my life would be if I could do that all of the time? You know how easier my life would be if I just shut the fuck up in my head? Like out loud. Like in you know, in my day-to-day. Obviously. I'm not, like, I say, like, unless I'm streaming, I think I say maybe 3 to 4 things, unless I'm, like, singing, but then I'm singing, okay? And I'm just, like, the song is in my head, and then, like, that's just a way to, like, pass the time, because now I'm grooving and vibing. But most of the time, I don't say anything. And if someone's trying to talk to me, if someone I don't know is trying to talk to me or have a conversation, I am so uncomfortable. But I know that they're just being nice, but I am so uncomfortable, and I so want the conversation to end pretty much as soon as they started talking to me. The amount of times I want to go, I don't know you, so I have no stake in the game. Don't care. I'm gonna go over there now. I don't hate you or anything. I don't want to be a part of this conversation anymore. And it's nothing against you. It's really not. Because I don't fucking know you. So I can't really harbor any ill thoughts towards you. So I'm just gonna go over there in the corner and do my own thing. I'm gonna hit the Miles Morales and I'm gonna do my own thing. And I'll see you guys later. Like, if you need anything from me, though, I'm there. But don't talk to me. I get it. Overthinker is an understatement? What is that? What could be, like, even... What's more than that? What's past overthinker? Omnipotent thinker? Omniscient thinker? All thinker? Only thinker? Like, I'm doing it again, aren't I? I did it again. I know. But yeah, and I'm just like... They're like, we don't really know anything about you. And I was like, well, what do you need to know? And I know that probably only frustrates my friends more, which I'm so sorry. Okay? I'm really just there to fill out the numbers. Alright? Like, if you guys want to have a party and you want to invite me, I'm more than happy to attend. I will have anxiety the entire time as I, like, get dressed and arrive at the party. I'm thinking about everything that could possibly go wrong, but I will show up because you want me to. And you know, we're all friends, so I don't like being left out of things, but at the same time, I also just kind of like forging my own path and just like, I am the role in the friend group of the wallflower. I will sit in the corner. I will do my own thing, whatever that thing may be. At the moment, there was one time I went out and all my friends were hanging out, and I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of here. I don't really want to be here, but I also don't really want to go home. I just kind of want to be a part of it, you know? So I brought a puzzle. I went to the dollar store before I got there, and I bought a puzzle. It was one of these, like, it was a 400-piece puzzle. I think it was, yeah, it's about 400 pieces. I still have it. But it's a 400-piece puzzle, and it fits in my purse. And I went, oh, perfect. And I threw it into my purse. Last minute, grabbed a beer while I was there, and then I went to, like, the event. So I went to the place, and then I found myself, like, a nice little table, and I was like, ooh. And then I said my hellos to everyone, you know, did this, what was socially acceptable, and then I was like, I realized that everyone had started getting into their own conversations, and as you guys know, I am the queen, absolute queen of phasing out of existence. If I realize that I am, like, if there are no eyes on me. So I literally just, like, slid away, and I was like, ooh, look at this little table that, like, nobody's using. And I pulled out the puzzle, and I just went, right, and I just started working on it. No shame. This really should not surprise you. I don't know, it should. It should. It really should. It should surprise me. This isn't something that people do. I know for a fact because I realized that at the party because a lot of people were like, what the fuck? But, like, not in a bad way, but just like, where did you get that? How did you... What? What? I was like, it's a really good puzzle! It was a really good puzzle! Okay, it's diagnosed. Ain't nothing. It's just me, okay? So, like, it was a really good puzzle. It was a bunch of cassette tapes and stuff. Actually, I gotta take a picture of it. Actually, no, I took a picture of it. It's on my phone. I should airdrop it later. Be like, hey, here's a puzzle. I did complete it, and everyone was over. Like, no one came to help me, obviously. They're all really surprised. Most of them were just like, hey, I think this is really cool. Like, wait, are you just... I was like, well, I didn't really, like, want to just kind of stand, and I didn't want to, you know, just kind of look out of place, and it's not like I'm not interested in what's going on. It was a really cool vibe you guys got going on here, but also, like, I kind of want to do a puzzle right now. I'm like, you're free to help if you want. And I'm like, I'm not, like, telling people to get away from me. I'm just like, hey, you're free to help if you want. It's 400 pieces. And recently, I had gotten into, like, speed puzzling as well. So it was like, you know, all of the, like, elements of the universe aligned for, that allowed me to do this puzzle. And, like, no one around me, this is how I know that I have a good group of friends. Because no one around me was like, what the fuck, that's weird. Nobody said that. They were just like, oh my god, that's so cool. I haven't done a puzzle in ages. And I was like, right? So I'm just sitting there just thinking, and like sometimes people would come up and then like they would go away though. Like they're like gonna let me do my own thing, you know. I don't know. I think it's weird to like make fun of people doing weird stuff. Like I know what I'm doing is unorthodox, but I also know that what I'm doing is not hurting anybody. It's not bad. It's not a testament to like the liveliness of your event. I just realized that there was this space, and I was like, just in case I get bored, I brought a puzzle. You know, I think personally, I am way more within my rights to do that than the person who brings a guitar to a party. Okay, and you know who you are. All right, if you're bringing an acoustic guitar to a party unprompted. Look, just saying, no one's asking for a concert, okay? Like, no one asked you to bring that, okay? I didn't ask you to bring that. I'm glad you have it. I'm glad you know how to use it. But the only reason you ever bring an acoustic guitar to a or any kind of instrument to a party unprompted is because you're ready to show off, okay? And I need you to just be aware of that, and that I also need you to be aware that that time may never come. Okay? That moment that you want, where everyone stands up and claps, may never happen. Because I'm not going to ask you to play that fucking guitar. Alright? There's already music. Live or otherwise. Someone's got the Bluetooth blasted. Okay? There have been a couple of times when I've been DJ for a party where I literally just put my phone on Do Not Disturb, put it on like my Spotify list, or like pick like a certain like YouTube playlist that I like, and then I just kind of throw my phone to the winds because it's DJ, and I'm off doing literally whatever the fuck else. But like, there's already music playing. Why did you bring an instrument? Because you want to play it for everybody, or maybe just one person. But I'm just gonna let you know that's why you brought it. You need that moment. And I'm like, that's okay for you, but I just need you to realize that you need that moment, and that also it may never happen. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna go over there in the corner and do my puzzle, or like, there was one time where I went to, I think I was hanging out with a group of friends a few years ago, and we decided to go club hopping after an anime convention. Yeah, I know. You probably cannot imagine it, but I go to clubs. Well, I went to clubs. I don't really go anymore. It's too cold. It's too cold right now, and I'm too busy, really, nowadays. I've got too much going on, like, with Crystal Saga, and, you know, like, talking to you guys and hanging out with you guys and playing games. I don't really have time for that anymore. And also, I only went because, like, it was, like, an anime convention, and, like, that was the vibe, and, like, the music that they had there was just kind of, like, a letdown. So we were like, let's go to a couple clubs, and I went, okay. I'm not really there to, like, look for anybody or anything, but if all of my friends want to go, like, club hopping around the city, I think that would be really cool. So I go with them, but I'm not really interested in, like, being there. And to the point, like, we get into one, and I think we decide to kind of hang out. It was kind of like this underground dance club. You see what I mean? This is the lore. This is the random lore that's dropping that you guys are like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. So it's like this kind of underground. I should have brought the puzzle into the club. Nah, it's too dark in there. Genuinely. But what it wasn't dark enough for was my Nintendo 2DS. I was deep into Pokemon Sun and Moon at the time, and I had my Pokemon 2DS, and it could fit into my purse. And yeah, if they do bag checks, it's not a weapon, it's not drugs, and it's not outside alcohol. So it passes the vibe, right? I had it on me. And, you know, I was feeling the music, but, like, everyone else was, like, doing their own thing, and, like, there were dance circles going on, you know, like, standard clubs, like, kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh, a place to sit, hell yeah! So I go and I sit down. I don't really feel like drinking just yet, because, like, I was told the drinks were, like, you know how you get the vibe, the drinks are too expensive here, so I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna buy any drinks here. And I'm like, I'm just gonna chill. So I found like a series of chairs next to like the girls' bathroom or whatever. And so I sat down, pulled out my 2DS, and started like playing Pokemon Sun and Moon. And it wasn't too dark because it has its own screen. It had its own screen, so I was just like collecting berries, like making eggs, just running around in circles, just really just doing whatever until my friends were like, we're ready to go. And I was like, oh, all right. Puts it in sleep mode, drops it in my purse, and I was like, all right, let's go. Where are we going to next? And they were like, have you been sitting here this whole time? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Not a single word. Yeah, I used to have friend groups that would like judge me for doing like weird things for that, like that. They would be like, if I were still friends with them today, I'm pretty sure they would say things like, why would you bust out a puzzle in the middle of a party? Like, aren't you there to hang out with your friends? And like, they would be pretty insulted if you weren't talking to them and thought that instead you wanted to play a puzzle. If you wanted to bring a puzzle out, why would you even go to the party in the first place? Why would you? And I was like, see, this is why we're not friends anymore. Because if you have to ask all of those questions, then obviously we're not friends, bro. But you don't know anything about me, and I think that's okay. I'll be over here. I still got like 20 pieces left. It took me like uninterrupted. It probably would have taken me about 2 hours to finish that 400-piece puzzle, but I kept getting interrupted, not like in a bad way. So it took me like 4 hours to do the puzzle, three, close to 4 hours to finish it. I could probably go faster, honestly, but I've never really tried to speed puzzle in my days, and I don't really know the strats. So yeah. You were disappointed that random dance battles don't break out in the club like in movies? They absolutely do. They absolutely do. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. Have you ever been to an anime convention? That's where they happen most often. Every single time, without fail. I've been to, I think I go to at least 1 or 2 conventions a year. And every time, it's Friday night is where you get like the opening act DJ for Saturday night. But like no matter what, it's always bumping because of course it's like drum and bass. So like the bass is wild. There will always be anime girls at the rave. And they'll let anybody in, and it'll just kind of like, it'll go in. Sometimes like everyone kind of like lets their way out. Everyone kind of pushes their way out so like these people can shine. And most of the time it's a lot of like people who are really good at breaking. Other times will just be somebody who just kind of like vibe and feeling the music. They may not be able to dance well, myself included, but like they will like get in there. Everyone's hyping them up and it's always so great. And then they pop out, and sometimes you get those confident people who like let other people in. Or if you're cosplaying and like you're in the dance circle and like someone around the rim of the circle is kind of like doing like a co-cosplay, or they're cosplaying like another character that kind of has something to do with yours, like you'll kind of like dance together. It's a whole thing. And then sometimes those things will like break up and you're like, okay, it broke up, and then you're just kind of like vibing and whatever, and then you'll hear it. You can hear the dance circle forming in another like moment in time. Like dance circles are constantly breaking out at anime conventions. You just got to be in the right place at the right time, my guy. Like and they're so welcoming. Those weebs, yeah, that's expected. I'm talking normie clubs, though. Do they not? Do you guys not have, like, dance battles in, like, normie clubs? I would think you would. I would think that would be more common. Or is it just, like, wherever you go? Like, okay. So is it really, are clubs really just for normie people? I need normie people. If you're normal in the chat, speak up, because I need to know. Do you guys just go to clubs just to sit there and drink and stare at each other? Do you, like, is it like middle school there, where, like, girls on one side, boys on the other, and if one person does dance, it's 6 inches for, like, the deity of your choice? Like, is that actually what happens? Because that's crazy. That's so boring. Why do you go? Heck. This technically doesn't count as a dance circle, but it also technically does. Because there was this place that I used to live. I don't live there anymore, but like a few years ago, I used to go to this like country music clubs. So, you know, there's literally dance clubs of all kinds. Underground, standard, bougie, you know, you just kind of go, right? They'll let you in. Most of them will let you in. It's just kind of like the vibes, depending on the vibes are different for like whichever one there is. Goth clubs, like LGBTQIA plus clubs, like all of them, they'll let you in. They don't care. It's all inclusive until you start calling a ruckus. So like back then, I used to live in a city where we go to a country music club all like once a week. It was like the vibe. I think it was like Thursday or Friday. We would go there every Thursday and Friday, and it wasn't a dance circle, but what would end up happening is like for country music, there are a lot of line dances that coincide with these songs. So like Boot Scoop Boogie, like Copperhead Road, they have dances to them. Going outside, I know. You would think that someone like me would not go outside as much as I do, but I like to go outside and then be in my own element. I don't like to go outside and like cause a kerfuffle and be noticeable and make a scene. I just kind of want to see what people are doing, because I realized early on how easy it was for me to just kind of slip in and out of existence. And so I was like, oh, I could just like go NPC mode if I want to, because they'll never notice me. So sometimes I kind of feel like Yvette from Chernova, where if I'm standing still long enough and I don't say anything, nobody knows I'm there. And so that's what happened for Country Music Club specifically, where you would think that I would stand out, but I kind of didn't, because it was like just so dark, so no one could see anybody anyway. They danced for sure, but no battles. I was so disappointed. I'm sorry. You have to be the dance circle that you want to see in the world. Like, hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Let me tell you about these country music clubs, because they are wild. They're kind of cool, actually. They're really no different from any other club you've ever been to, except for the fact that they have, instead of dance circles, they have organized lines where there is one dance that everyone is doing. And trust me, they will not fail to teach you how to do that dance. I think I've just gotten really lucky. Well, I've gotten really unlucky, and then I've also gotten really lucky with that. Like, if I'm in a situation nowadays, or in like the last couple of years, and I'm in a situation where it's obvious that I don't know what I'm doing, or if I just don't feel comfortable, there are people who are nice enough to like try and incorporate me into what is going on. As in, there are people who are like, I was like, I like this song and I want to dance to it because it looks like an easy like step to learn. And people would be like, I'll show you how to do it. Because really, they just want more people to dance with. They just want more people to dance in a line with them. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. So that was fun. But I guess it wasn't a circle, it was a line. But I guess that still counts. But if you don't see any dance circles out where you're going, there were a couple of times where I'd gotten so used to the dance circle vibe. I used to be friends with like a lot of break dancers. When I used to like visit this one state like every once in a while, because there were a lot of conventions down there. There were a lot of my friends lived down there, so I would like visit that state pretty often, and they were all break dancers. And so I was like no stranger to I am no stranger to like breakdancing culture. And actually, I think now they're all just kind of like stunt actors. Like they all do their own stunts, and like they own like a film company or whatever. But anyway, like, so I got incorporated early on into the dance scene. Did I dance? Absolutely not. I was really just kind of there to like hype everybody up and just kind of like be a part of it and go, holy smack, that's cool. It never occurred to me to try it out for myself, but like I really thought it was just like a really cool thing. So I've always known about the culture of dance circles, about how like, you know, and I also learned about a lot of stuff, like, because from there you go to like dance, like music festivals or raves, as I think they're either or. I think the term is literally like interchangeable. So like these like breakdancers would also go to like raves and music festivals, and that has its own culture that you'd have to learn, and dance circles, what happened there. But what would also happen there was these I think they're called like glovers. Like they use like hands. Look, okay, let me start by saying a lot of stuff that used to be cringe when everyone first came out as like weebs is now like disciplined and so cool now. And one of these things is called gloving, where you would take your hand, like you would take like a glove, and a glove would have LEDs at the fingertips. You can look it up. I don't know how popular it is now, but it's very like dancer rave specific cultures, like you can get into it, whatever, but like they would have these gloves would have LEDs at the tips, and then they would do like finger dancing basically, and it would create these like lovely patterns and stuff, and they would just be sitting there vibing, just kind of go just waving their hands all over the place, and it was like also really cool. And then you learned about, like, do you guys know about the people who, like, the dancers with, like, the hula hoops, and, like, then they came out with all these other, like, rave toys? They're basically rave toys. Like, all of that. Like, all of that. Did I ever really partake in any of it? No. Was I, like, friends with a lot of people who did? Yes, absolutely. And I thought they were the coolest people on the planet. I think I still am friends with those people. We just, we have introversion sickness, where we're friends, but we don't talk to each other. But if we ever did start talking to each other again, it would be like we never stopped. Like, it would be like we just talked yesterday, you know? And, yeah. But yeah, if you want, be the thing you want to see in the world. If you want dance circles to happen, start circling. Start dancing in a circle. Kind of like find a spot, right? This is how you do it. You want to know how to start a dance circle? I will tell you. And without fail, it works every single time. What you start doing is, for instance, go to an anime. Let's just use an anime convention. And I know a lot of you probably don't go outside or go to clubs. That's your business. But if you ever want to get a dance circle started, first of all, starts with a little bit of confidence. Starts with a little bit of courage. Whether that courage comes from inside or an external force is up to you. But first thing you do is walk into an anime convention, and you gotta start feeling the music. Like, is the music something that you kind of just want to, like, wild out to? Sure, go ahead. All right, so then what you do is you find kind of like an open space, right? Just like, not in the center. Don't just start like flailing your arms about with like a bunch of people like less than 6 inches away from you or something like that. But like find a space like kind of like off to the side, or maybe like a little bit in the back of like the dance crowd, right? And so then what you start doing is you just dance your heart out. Doesn't matter what that dance looks like, how good it is, how bad it is. I will tell you right now, nobody cares. And that takes a lot. That is a lot coming from me saying that, like, nobody cares. But, like, they don't, okay? Because it's dark, the lights are on, they're all dancing. Nobody's dancing well. Even the best dancers are not dancing well. They're dancing maybe a little bit better than some other people, but they're all just kind of, like, there, you know? I didn't say I wanted to participate. I'm telling you, this is how they start. And one person just kind of starts going ham, right? And then either another person will start dancing with you because they like your vibes, they like the confidence, or they will just kind of like watch you dance, and then more and more people will watch you dance, and then as more and more people watch you dance, they'll kind of get around and they'll kind of circle, and then like another person joins in, and then bam, before you realize it, dance circles going on. Everyone's going, ah, ooh, ah, 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 meow, 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 meow. But yeah. And it's just a fun time. Most of the time, you never even have to participate in a dance circle. You can, and even if you're like, okay, let's say you don't want to participate. Let's say you just want to watch one. You just want to be on the rim, right? That is totally possible. You can be on the rim of a dance circle and actually never join. You really can. And I have done that. I've been that person. So what you do? Say you join one, or say one starts, you just kind of sit there and you just kind of vibe. If someone like stands up to you and they're like ready to get next to you, you're just kind of like, yeah, buddy, go ahead. Like, you don't even have to talk. It's so loud and they don't say anything. You can be the most nonverbal you've ever been in your life. Someone comes up to you and they're like, you just kind of go, you know, and you just kind of let them I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this. I don't think this is really information that anybody really needs to know, but I all do think that you should write it down anyway, because you never know where you're going to need this information. If you don't write it down, retain it anyway, okay? And I know, like, a lot of YouTubers claim that they don't really go outside. That's not true. They do. They just don't go out. When they do go out, it's nothing exciting. They're kind of like me, where they go outside because they have to, because obviously they have to, but nothing interesting happens while they're outside. Not interesting enough to tell you. And it's more appealing for some reason to not go outside. I do stay indoors 6 days out of the week if I can help it, but on average, about 24 hours out of the week I spend outside because I have to take care of a lot of things outside, or I have to visit family, or my family needs me to do something. If I could be so lucky as to not really have to leave my home for 7 days a week, if I can't, like, not being able to leave your home is different from not wanting to leave. Yeah, witnessing a kidnapping, totally not interesting. I mean, look, now it's not interesting because it got resolved. The most useful, useless information. Trust me, I'm full of it. I'm full of a lot of information that doesn't really help anybody, but in the moment. But later on, you're gonna be like, I remember she told me this. There have been a lot of moments where I will say something, like, as advice. It will be, like, non-advice. Someone will have, they'll tell me something about their life, and I'll go, you know what, that's X and Y and Z, and that's kind of crazy, because that's, you know what's gonna happen if you don't do anything about it? This is what's gonna happen if you don't do anything about it. And then it happens, and I really have to keep it in and go, I told you so. Because, you know, nobody wants to be that person. But the other times, when also, another thing I am the queen of is giving people advice and them not listening to it. And then the one thing I advised against happens, and I don't say anything. I don't say I told you so. I don't say that. I mean, obviously, I'm like, okay, well, I sympathize with you. But then in my head, I'm going, you dumb idiot. And I'm like, you know what? This is one of those things you have to figure out for yourself. I hate to say it. Like, as your little mama bird, I did push you off that cliff. And, or like, I told you what was gonna happen if I pushed you off the cliff. And you jumped off the cliff. And you fell. And I went, wow. Alright. And then I come down there and I, like, swoop you up and put you back in the nest, and I don't say anything. I don't say I told you so. I don't say, what did we learn? I don't do any of that. I just... I don't say anything. If someone ever asks for my advice, and then I like solicit said advice, it's up to them whether they choose to, like, listen to it or not, obviously, okay? Because they're asking for advice, they're not asking for an actionable, like, solution. It's fine. But that's where it ends. I've learned very quickly to just kind of go, if I had to explain it as, like, any action other than that, just the... And then I go back to my puzzle. I know, it probably sounds, like, kind of cold-hearted. But it's happened, like, too many times, okay? Okay, humans? It's happened too many times. The all-seeing, all-thinking, anxious little rabbit who thinks of every possible solution before it even possibly happens, to the point where, like, she can't get anything done. Like, I give myself paralysis, executive paralysis, because I'm too busy thinking about all of, like, the different things that could happen, that the thing itself never actually happens. But all my friends ever see, you know, this is actually really funny, is that all my friends ever see on the outside is just like a very quiet person that they know maybe 3 things about. And you know what's also very interesting about that is, like, my group of friends can all name, like, 3 different things. Like, if one of the, like, if I asked one, be like, what do you know about me, Etro, as a person? They would go, meh, meh, A, B, C. And if I asked another friend what they know about me, they would say X, Y, Z. You know? And they'd be like, wait, why do we know different things? And I would go, because you guys asked different things. And I don't really feel the need to broadcast the same thing. I also it really bothers me. It bothers me, but it doesn't bother me. But it's just so contrived sometimes to have to repeat myself. Can't stand it. I can't stand it. And like for some people it's a non-issue. It really is a non-issue where like I have friends. I'm not gonna give out any names in case they're listening. I'm so sorry, but I promise you the person I am referring to in this instance is not listening. But they tell the same story very often, or and like, well, not like that, but like not because like they thought no one heard them the first time, but it's just kind of like NPC dialogue to them. But it's also like they're a very extroverted person. They like to meet new people and they like to tell people about themselves. They like to learn about new people. They love having conversations. They are what I like to call a little yap hamster, like and they refer to themselves as such as well. They're like, damn, you got me monologuing. And I was like, I didn't do anything. I just kind of, you wound yourself up and I just kind of watched you go. And it's great because that means that I don't have to talk. Actually, yeah. And like, but a lot of the times they have like a script. When like someone's like, hey, what do? They say the same thing every single time when someone asks them that question. They have a mental script prepared for when anyone asks them that question. As for if anyone ever asked me that question, I don't really know how I would answer. I would just say I am a digital media consultant. I think that is what I have said most of the time, because usually if I get into the specifics of what I do, then I literally end up doxing myself, and I feel uncomfortable doing that. So that's the kind of thing when you have like an intellectual property attached to your name, is that after a while you can no longer hide it, because it is an achievement. It is really cool, and I should be telling more people about it. But in the nature of telling people about it, my privacy kind of gets breached in a way, because that like telling you about Crystal Saga kind of leads you down the literal rabbit hole right here. Like, it kind of leads you down a literal rabbit hole that I know that not a lot of people are ready to do or like deal with or even comment on, or can even fathom or understand, because a lot of people can't really understand the amount of technology that comes with being a virtual content creator, and that's fine. But I know at the same time that in order to explain all of that to you, it might literally like overload your circuits, and then now I'm just weird, because in having to explain what I do to a lot of people, I would end up having to like and essentially create an entire paragraph of words they may or may not understand. I'm going to end up just belting out word salad, because it's a very new thing in the last few years. It is like a very niche occupation, and even with being like, that's why I just tell them that I'm a digital media consultant, and like hope they don't ask me any more questions after that, because asking any more questions after that is just like, and it's just, I'm like, look, we're about to get into a whole lot of technology or a whole lot of like verbiage or jargon that I don't think you're going to retain. And honestly, after a while, your brain's going to stop listening to what I'm actually telling you, and it's going to like form the one word weird above my head, and that's going to be your description of me. And if someone ever quizzed you, it's like, so what does she do? You would not be able to answer, because I fed you so much information that none of it stuck. So I just say, I am a digital media consultant, and then I just move on. And they're like, what does that mean? And I was like, well, I work from home a lot. It's a lot of remote work. It's a lot of like illustration and working with just like a lot of different programs with like spreadsheets and stuff like that. And I just make it so vague. People like that, people that don't like repeating themselves really don't like doing it. Oh. Like, either you're okay, like I said, like my friend, if anyone ever asks them what they do, they have that script ready to go, and they have a few stories to add on. Like, they have that situational and conversational flowchart already set out in their head, and I'm like, that's so good, because you have an occupation that you can actively like talk about with people, and that's so cool. Like, because you're all fucking normal, and being normal around each other is so comforting. It's so head empty. It's so, oh, now time has passed. It gets things going. Me, who lives from second to 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 second, I can't do that. I'm a VTuber isn't good enough. No. You want to know why? Because I'd have to then explain what a VTuber is. I would then have to show an example. Even if, and like, I would then have to, like, explain what it actually is. I would have to, and they're like, well, why don't you just... And then there's a lot of questions that come with it. Like, not insensitive questions, but what I would consider insensitive questions. Because I have a few of my friends do know what I do, but not to the extent and the magnitude of which I do it. They know of it. They know the gist. As far as they know, I'm just a YouTuber. And they kind of stop there, and they have their own, like, preconceived notions about it, and I don't really correct them. Honestly, as long as they don't think I am doing anything lewd, that is really all I care about. Like, that's enough for me. And then, like, a lot of the, even the ones that, like, nobody really understands what it is. I think Dadtro is probably the only one that is actually interested in the industry and the technology behind it. Everyone else is just like, oh, well, why don't you just show your face? Why don't you just use a webcam? Why don't you just not show your face? Why? And I'm like, well, my face is right here. That's the whole point. It's like my face is right here, and like I'm actually talking to you guys, which is something that I have not been able to do ever. Like, in reality, this is great. Like, I'm right here talking to you guys, like having a conversation. Like, I'm in a space, like, it's just really, I don't know. It's like the puppetry of it all is just so amazing to me. And I think it's something that, like, has not been an option until very recently. And I think that's so cool. But, like, also explaining that to people, because it's a very new occupation, because it's a very, like, it's not like, I guess it's interesting. I think what it is, if I had to really call it anything, I think it's too interesting. I think it's too interesting. And I think that I know what this sounds like. It probably sounds like really conceited, but trust me, it's not. Trust me, it's not, okay? You guys think way more highly of me than I do. Those sound like old people questions. It's just, there are people like my age that still don't really understand it. Like, it's just such a not talked about enough thing. It is a very online thing. Something like being a VTuber is a very digital thing. It is not something that comes up in IRL conversation unless you're at a fucking anime convention. I'm not kidding you. Or you're surrounded by a bunch of your friends who also like VTubers. But it's not something that comes up in normal conversation because it never has a reason to. Even if somebody sees an anime girl, they go anime. They do not immediately go VTuber. They're still so detached. It's its own thing. But what I do for a living is so interesting that I literally make it as vague and as boring as possible on purpose so that I do not have to answer a lot of questions. Because in doing that, I have now gained someone's attention, and now we are having a conversation that I don't necessarily want to have because I don't want to have a conversation with you. And also, I value my privacy. So it like, going back to the top of the flowchart, having to explain it would mean, like, low-key, like, having to explain that I literally am a freelance game designer as well as a virtual content creator who's also a bunny. Is just, it's like opening a can of worms that is like, it's like squeezing a bunch of toothpaste out onto the table and trying to get the toothpaste back in the tube. It's not happening. Okay? And I don't necessarily need every single person in the world to know what I do. I don't even really need my friends to know what I do. They're just like, she works from home. I don't really know what it is she does. I don't know the expanse of it. But she seems happy, and she's not like... And I'm not homeless. And I think for my parents and my friends, that's really all they can ask for. They're like, she seems comfortable. And she seems fine. And she seems satisfied. So, I don't think we really need to just kind of, like, ask for more. Is it, like, as your friends, that's really all you want for your friends? As a family, that's really all you would want from your family? And obviously for myself, I guess I could always want more. I'm always low-key striving for more. And I am working through my own personal barriers to try and, like, take those extra steps to be more than what I am. But hey, I'm just a fucking weird voice on the internet. Right? It's like... Hold on. I went to Taco Bell before stream. Not a sponsor. And I didn't know... You know, this whole time, I didn't know that Taco Bell had lemonade. I thought they only had soda. And I've gotten really tired of drinking sodas lately. Like, if it's not, even Baja Blast, which everybody knows Baja Blast is ubiquitously delicious. Yes, I understand. But I've gotten really tired of drinking sodas lately. They're so very spicy. Like, it's so spicy to me. But, like, not spicy, like, hot, like, capsaicin spicy, but, like, spicy as in, like, so carbonated that I don't even know what I'm tasting anymore. So I got Taco Bell, and I was, like, sitting there, and I was like, yeah, I'll just take, like, a Sprite or something, and they misheard me, and they're like, did you want lemonade? And I went, oh, I didn't even know you guys had lemonade. Yeah, I'll take that. So, now I know that Taco Bell has lemonade. All the like, I don't, like, any reason to, like, cut soda out of my life permanently, unless it's ginger ale. I think ginger ale and root beer, because root beer floats are just kind of based, and ginger ale is, in the words of my people, it's literally good for anything. Like, if you're sick, drink a ginger ale. You know? Like, you're not feeling good, drink a ginger ale. You got a tummy ache, drink a ginger ale. You got a headache, drink a ginger ale. You know? You're hot, drink a ginger ale. If you're cold, drink a ginger ale. It'll be fine. It's literally, like, a cure for everything, so I have to have it in my life, but, like... I think I'd rather just keep ginger ale in my medicine cabinet. I don't want to have it for lunch if I can help it, but it is delicious. But I've gotten back to, like, I've stopped drinking as much beer, and I've gone back to, like, hard liquor. I'm back on the liquor teat, you know? Like, I guess hard liquor is it's a weird thing to say, but, like, I stopped drinking beer as much because, like, a lot of my friends work at this, like, craft brewery, and so I can go there and I can just kind of, literally, I can just drink for free. Like, let's be real. Okay? I could drink for free, and so, like, I was like, oh, money, savings, it's crazy. But I realized, I was like, ooh, this just isn't good for me, and then also, like, I didn't really like the taste of it. I just liked that it was free. And you know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend like you haven't done it, okay? But I just liked it because it was free, and then I was like, ugh, I don't feel so good, or, like, it was having negative effects on my health, and so I drink it less and less, and I was like, well, also, I didn't really like the flavor of any of them anyway, so I stopped drinking them, and I'm like, now I'm gone back to making cocktails again. All the money I saved for, like, getting free drinks means that I could, like, save up and, like, buy, like, actual, like, spirits for cocktails again. So I got back to that, and then I was like, well, I have to choose the sugars. All of this can't be sugar. I can't drink beer and soda and spirits and cocktails, like, and energy drinks. I have to cut something out. You know, so, I think I chose soda to start with. Soda and energy drinks. I actually, cut both of them out. I do drink coffee, like, but only one coffee maybe every couple of days. I did have an instant coffee that I drink every day, but then I stopped drinking it, and I was like, wow, I think I have enough caffeine in my system from drinking energy drinks over the last, like, 3 years to kind of last me for, like, the next 6 days. Like, I have energy. Like, it's kind of crazy. So I cut out energy drinks, I cut out soda, I cut out beers. Not as much beers. Like, just I definitely toned down on the amount of beer that I drink. And I have been seeing, like, an actual, like, improvement. It's kind of crazy. Ginger ale for any sickness, Vaseline on any wound, Vaseline, Vapor Rub, and Neosporin. Not a sponsor. All of these things are so good. So, but, like, you know, when you just kind of, like, cut something out of your life, whether it's for health or just because, you kind of have to fill that hole with something. And for me, that hole has been apple juice and lemonade. I can't explain it, but I've always loved apple juice anyway. But apple juice kind of looks like beer already. And no offense, but it tastes better. So I've just been drinking a lot more apple juice and a lot of lemonade. The Neosporin Lamau, yes. Remember, I am accident prone. So Vaseline doesn't work, but Vaseline doesn't work. But I get cuts all the time, or I would like fall and like burn myself a couple of times. There's one time I burnt myself. I used to work at a fast food place, and I burnt myself a couple of times by touching like hot pans by accident. And I also, like, as a kid, I would like accidentally like get too close to an iron and like burn my arm. And Neosporin and cocoa butter were just, actually, they really, really work. I hate to say it, like, it's not a myth. It's not a myth. They work. They work. They really do. Hold on. There we go. They really do. And then, like, the bandages, Band-Aids, not a sponsor. Don't, whatever, okay? It's a fucking Band-Aid, alright? We live in a capitalist free market society. It's a fucking Band-Aid. I know what it's supposed to be, an adhesive medical strip. It's a fucking Band-Aid. It's it's just really funny. But yeah, like, I've been seeing, like, good progress. And on top of that, I started working out again, obviously, as you know. Like, there is Ring Fit. Yeah, like, I play Ring Fit a lot. But on top of that, when I'm too lazy to, like, set up everything, you can just do, like, at-home workouts. And I have discovered this rather hardcore workout recently in my, like, big... Like, you know, a lot of people start their, like, fitness goals, like, in January of, like, the beginning of the year. I was like, I'm not gonna want to do shit in January if I don't start now. If I don't start, like, taking steps towards, like, whatever goal I'm gonna come up with arbitrarily in January, like, why wait until January? If I, like, why? And because a lot of people have the mindset of, I'm just gonna start the year anew. Like, in January, I'm gonna be the best version of myself. I'm gonna lose 20 pounds. I'm gonna gain $20,000, and I'm gonna travel to 20 different countries. How are you gonna do that literally at the beginning of the year if you don't start working towards that goal now? If you, like, hey, because in that case, if you start your goal, if you're like, I'm not going to start this goal until, like, X amount of time down the road, you're already behind. When you start that goal, you're already behind on where you want to be. Because, like, low-key, for instance, you start in January, it's going to be really rough, but there's a chance you're going to find so many excuses to, like, not do it, right? And by the time, like, say you want a summer body. Let's start with that. You want a hot summer bod. You want a hot summer bod. By, when does summer start? May? May? Yeah. You want a hot summer bod by May, and you're like, yeah, and you decide in January that you're gonna start working out for it. That means you got 5 months, right? Usually that sounds like a lot of time. Plenty of time even. But you're used to slacking off. You're used to procrastinating. You're used to being busy and finding excuses not to do the things that would have given you the hot summer bod in the first place. Because, oh, it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or like Halloween. So many excuses to drink and eat a lot of food and party. So I'm just gonna gain weight no matter what, and I need to keep my winter weight because I don't want to freeze to death. So I'm just gonna gain weight no matter what. So there's no point in starting in these last 4 months of the year. So I might as well start in January. 2025 is my character arc. It's my training montage. No, it's not. You're not gonna change. If you haven't changed yet, you're not going to change. If you're waiting to change, you're not going to change. Okay? And this is speaking from experience, because I have done this before, where I have fallen into the trap of the New Year's resolution. But then I have made it my business to just like find any reason. Just because I'm like, well, I said I was going to do it, so I'm still on my way. Yeah, sure, girly, whatever. But are you actually doing anything to get to that bod? No, because January is too cold to do anything, and you're all tired out, or you run out of money because you spent it all on the holidays. February comes around, now you're depressed because you either have a partner or you don't have a partner. March comes around, it's spring, whatever, it's too cold to work out, or it's too hot to work out, or you're still getting yourself together. This is all part of the glow up. Now it's April, and all of a sudden, oopsies, hot girl summer is next fucking month. And what have you been doing for the first 4 months of the year? Not shit. And then that repeats. So now you're behind on not only your hot, now you're like looking at all of these like, do this quick, or get rich quick, or lose weight quick, or become like a popular streamer quick, or whatever, insert goal here quick. And now you're behind, and now you're freaking out, and now like none of it's gonna work the way it wants to, and then like you finally do get that hot summer bod, but now it's like the end of summer, and like you've got all these random other plans and things coming up, and like the world keeps fucking moving on, so now you have to keep up with that, while at the same time trying to like get this goal that you set 8 fucking months ago. 8 months ago, by the way. And you're no closer to it, and oh no! Guess what time of the year it is? It's fucking October. The leaves are starting to fall, it's getting pretty cold, and the holidays are coming up. And you're about, and like, oh, well, the holidays are here. I gotta save up my money for the holidays. I'm about to put on all this winter weight from like drinking and eating with family. And now we have a fucking cycle. Which, in reality, what you should be doing is if you know that there's some place or somewhere that you want to be, you need to start working towards it as soon as you realize that you have a goal. I don't know, yeah, but yeah. Because otherwise, you're just gonna fall into the trap of this vicious cycle, and then, like, all of a sudden, the pandemic's over, and you've done nothing with it. While some people have created entire, like, bakery moguls off of like their sourdough starter that they made in 2020. You know what I mean? Like, and you're gonna end up comparing yourselves to those people when in reality they just, it's not that they did what you could not, but also that it is that they did what you could not, but also that they just kind of like, I don't know, they just kind of stuck, it just kind of stuck to their fucking guns. You got too distracted. Get off your ass. I'm just kidding. I don't even know how we got here. I don't even know how we got here, but we're here. But so, needless to say, I did all of that thinking one day over the course of like 5 minutes, and I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to wait until January to make a goal. I don't want to be constantly behind. I don't want to constantly be playing catch up to myself or to my ideal version of myself. So I started early. So that by the time January gets here, I am already in the process of, I guess, and let's use the hot summer bod as an example. I am already in the process of that. So I started like Ring Fit again. I started like cutting out like excessive amounts of drinking, specifically excessively drinking things I didn't need, like energy drinks and beer, because like the beer and the energy drinks are low-key just kind of like canceling each other out, and it's just not healthy to have this is not healthy. Pick one. So, like, I cut that out. Like, I got myself in order. I looked up a bunch of tutorials. I did a bunch of research. And then I came across this, like, hardcore workout routine. Workout routine. Yes. And it's pretty intense. It's so intense that I tried it and I had to take, like, 2 days off. But, I did try it. And, I hate burpees. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them so much. I don't know who invented them, but you and I are not friends. If you invented burpees, I respect you, but I don't have to like you. Okay? Sometimes I feel like a stand-up comedian when I laugh at my own jokes and then go and grab some water. But you know that. You know the thing where, like, you see a stand-up comedian and they hit a punchline, right? And they're like, and they're still holding on to the mic. And they go and, like, grab their drink that's sitting on the stool next to them. You know the vibe. You know the vibe. We do it all, VTubers do it all the time. I do it myself. I go, you know, like, I do it all the time. Workout, is it the 7 Urkel workout? Workout for me, workout for me. But how did we get here? Oh, hold on, it's much too warm in here. There we go. Okay. My heater has sufficiently heated up my entire room, and with, like, all the streaming lights on, it's way too hot in here now. So it's time for all that air to dissipate. Like, get out of here, get out of here. I'm sweating. I still got about 20 minutes to talk to you guys. And you know what's crazy? I did not think that I had this much to talk about. And haven't even talked about the things that I actually came on stream to talk to you about. Brings me back to the beginning of the stream where I said, like, I had points, but I wasn't going to, like, refer to them all stream. I was just gonna yap and see where it went. And, of course, it goes to all of these other places. If I sounded a little bit condescending or holier than thou, I really did not mean to. It's just that I'm just speaking from experience. And from my experience, this is how things worked out to, like, give me the opinions that I have, but they don't necessarily apply to every single person listening, obviously. Take everything I say with a grain of MSG. But yeah, one thing I did want to talk to you guys about, besides my workout routine. Oh my god, what is that? Hold on, what is that? Oh, it's a piece of dust. I was freaking out. Okay. It's a piece of dust on my keyboard that I hadn't seen before, and I was like, you're new. Marvel Rivals. Mabo Wabo. I think it's very funny that secretly, whether they realize it or not, Mabo Wabo is actually kind of catching on. Like, not the game. The term Mabo Wabo is catching on. And I think that's so funny. Because I'm saying, oh, it's Mabo Wabo. Let's go play Mabo Wabo. And more people are using it. And I don't even think they realize where it came from. And you don't have to know where it came from. I don't want credit. I don't want idealization in that way. But I just think it's really funny that that's catching on. Also, I was wrong. It's a really fun game. I was wrong in the fact that not that I didn't like the game, is that I was afraid that I would like it, and I was kind of really trying to make Chernova work, and I think I was the only one really batting for Chernova. If it's still region locked, I can't help it. I think we still have until tomorrow to figure out whether or not that's true. I don't know. If it's still region locked, then it's literally a dead game, and I hate to admit that because I was one of Chernova's, like, biggest defenders, because I really thought, I was like, anything to get us away from Valorant, please. I need a new Valorant. I think that's, like, really good. And I was trying, but, like, I can't, the game speaks for itself. I still like it, but, like, it's not a game that I can really stream effectively. Not in the way that I could Marvel Rivals. I did not realize, like, one, that my second Overwatch, like, phase, like, I was suddenly reliving my Overwatch days where I'm sitting there on my couch before I started streaming. This is before I started streaming, by the way. I was sitting on the couch playing my PS4, just playing Overwatch, playing Mei and Black Widow. Oh, not Black Widow, Widowmaker and Diva for like 4 hours. Like, and I was just in a match, play the match, out of the match, in, play again, one more round, one more round, one more round, one more round. And then before I realized the 4 hours go by, and I think secretly I was afraid that would happen. And I was trying to tell myself that I can't get back into this, and because I was trying so hard to get everybody to play Stranova. I still kind of am. But Marvel Rivals came out of nowhere. It didn't. There's some people who have been following this game for years. But it came out, and I was like, shoot, it's fun. Gosh darn it, it's fun. Gosh darn it, I'm a Star-Lord main. Gosh darn it, one more round. Like, gosh darn it, like, I'm not mad at these games. Like, I'm not, like, yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated, but I'm like, wow, I'm not having a hard time, I'm not having a bad time. Like, this is great, this is cool, this is fun. Like, who would have thought? You know? Who would have thought? Not I. That was a hell of a tangent. No, I didn't come up as condescending, more like you're educating. I'm just letting you guys know that things happen. And then you just kind of go, oh, okay. I mean, I do overthink a lot, and I am pretty anxious in general. But so, like, I know I need to chill out a lot of times, so, like, I don't necessarily practice what I preach. I'm just like, yo, chill out, man. It's not that big of a deal. Meanwhile, if the same thing happened to me, I would be so amped up, and I know I would be, but I can't let that shit show. Okay? Because then it will be a shit show. You played a bit more ranked now? You're gold, so you're guaranteed the ranked Moon Knight skin. You know, look how far the rank leaderboard would take me. Honestly, good for you. Good for you. I'm actually kind of sad. I didn't play any yesterday, and I missed it. I was missing it. I didn't play any Mabble Wabble yesterday, and I was like, ooh, I can kind of, you know, what is it? What's that one mode? The arcade mode? Conquest or something, or Convergence? Either way, I was like, well, the one you just collect things, and it's literally just team deathmatch. It's like a 2-minute team deathmatch, and maybe faster if your team is really, really good or your team is really, really bad. But yeah, I was like, oh, this game's so fun. Like, I hate to say it, it's so fun. And what I also hate to say is that more people are willing to play with me than they were when I asked them to play Chernobyl with me. Which is nothing on them. It just says a lot to the game itself. And as someone who, like, I really like playing multiplayer games, and I really like playing games with friends, if I don't have a lot of people to play that game with, I probably won't stream it. Just because I'm not having as much fun as I could be having. Like, Chernobyl cool, but I'm just not having as much fun as I would have if I were playing Marvel Rivals. I was gonna say that's more on Chernobyl than your friends. That is true. That's what I mean. Like, it's not on me. I actually did try. And I feel like with the right amount of people, anything can be fun. But if, like, you have a bunch of friends and you're the only one in your friend group that wants to play that multiplayer game, maybe it's not you, maybe it's the game. So I was like, and I thought about that, and I was like, okay, let's give Marvel Rivals a try. Absolutely fell in love with it. Don't know what half. I can't tell you any of the lore on what half of these superheroes do. Never seen Cloak and Dagger before in my life. Like, I'd heard of Squirrel Girl, never seen her, you know? And yet here I am, in, like, playing the game, and I'm just like, fuck you, Squirrel Girl! That shit was nuts! And she's like, ah! And I'm, you know, like, and I'm just like, one more round, one more round, one more round. Like, for instance, the stream I had the other day, I played for, like, 4.5 hours, and I'm like, that's insane, yeah. something, Squirrel Girl, yeah. Like, never seen Cloak and Dagger before. Moon Knight, can't tell you a single thing about Moon Knight. I still didn't watch WandaVision because I don't have Netflix. Actually, I do. It's just on my phone. I need to... Maybe I should watch WandaVision. No, it's too late. It's too late. I'll just have someone broad strokers. Someone give me the cliff notes of WandaVision. Actually, I think I know the cliff notes of WandaVision. It was all a dream. Disney Plus. Ah, okay. WandaVision is Disney Plus. Okay, well, I don't have Disney Plus. Maybe, okay, that explains it. No. I think my sister has Disney Plus, which means, by proxy, I have Disney Plus. But yeah, Marvel Rivals is fun. I am actually really happy that I gave it a chance. I'm glad I got to watch Doki play it first. Even though she was playing, like, the, like, most try-hard, sweaty games of Marvel Rivals because she was playing, like, Platinum Rank to try to get top 100. I still think the game looked fun despite that, so I'm glad I gave it a try. I do really enjoy it. You will see more of it in the future because it really doesn't look like it's going anywhere as well, which is something I really, really like. I like the UI. I like, now that I've fixed it, I like how responsive it is. I like the queue times. I like the fact it's just all of it. It's a good game. What else was I going to talk about? I don't have any new anime that I really want to talk about right now because I'm kind of still I'm in the middle of like watching 6 different anime to kind of see where they go. I don't really know if I'm gonna finish them right now. I watched Uma Musume, and now Crunchyroll, not a sponsor, is trying to recommend a lot of other like sports anime surrounding like groups of girls, but none of them are really like interesting to me right now. Oh, there is one I'm watching right now, like Sleepy Princess in a Demon Castle. It's pretty old. I think it's been out for like a year or two, but I'm just now like finishing it, and I'm like really enjoying it for some reason. So that's probably like it. I might watch it from the beginning. I think right now the English dub is pretty cool because there was one time that I think there was one line and the guy was like, they were all talking to each other, and one guy like he just goes, and his line just goes, "Dead ass? I thought you were dead." And I was like, I love dubs now because like these last few years in anime dubbing and voice acting has been killing it lately. They've been killing the game because the slang that they use, it's so funny, like it's so real, like it's so much like you actually feel like they're not just reading the English translation of Japanese like lines. They're actually like translating it into a way that is like, or the comedy it's also like evoked, like, and you can laugh in the same way and the same timing, you know. Only really into Dandadan right now. I have not finished Dandadan. I watched episode 8 and then I like got really distracted, but it is on Crunchyroll, so I probably should finish it today. I've got some friendship bracelets that I need to finish. I actually just finished my mom's friendship bracelet this morning before the stream started, and I'm working on Little Brotro's bracelet as well. So I'm probably going to finish that today. Actually, it's probably what I'm going to do after stream, and then get into Dandadan. The problem with Dandadan, which there is no problem, it's the problem with me. Problem with me is that I usually like watch anime while I'm doing something like crafty with my hands, so that I can listen to it. But Dandadan is one of those animes that you have to watch. Like, you can't really take your eyes off of it because it's just that good. You can't just sit down and like, I'll just listen to it in the background. No, you won't. No, you won't. You will listen to it, or you will do it, and you will watch it, and you will take in all of the majesty that is Dandadan. Also, a lot of people are putting out Dandadan covers, like the Otonoke covers right now, like Calliope, Iron Mouse. Oh my god, someone else did a Dandadan cover. I can't remember their name. I'm so sorry. Not off the top of my head right now. But yeah, like all these people are coming out the covers, and that keeps reminding me, like, I gotta finish it. What am I doing? I gotta fucking finish it. But I'll let you know how that goes. Big strap. Oh gosh, no, I'm tired. No, I'm tired. I have been up since like 8 o'clock this morning. Just working on, I'm hoping that the sugar from the lemonade will like give me a quick energy boost. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah. I'm hoping it'll give me a quick energy boost. Also, can you play Marvel Rivals with a controller? Because I've been thinking of like Is it better with controller? I don't know. Is it like just as good with controller? I'm gonna have to see. That is one thing I want to figure out. You can? Okay. If I can play it with controller, I will. Genuinely, I will. Yeah, I've got friendship bracelets to make. Oh, that's something I want to do. I don't think I have it. I wanted you guys to see Miku in Fortnite soon. That's right! It's finally happening! So many people have been joking about it, and she's here! We all knew. It was only a matter of time. I think someone joked about it because they were like, does that mean that, like, EA is gonna own rights to Vocaloid songs now? And I genuinely don't know what that means for Vocaloid music because it's being picked up by more and more mainstream, like, avenues. So, I don't know, because, like, the best thing about Vocaloid is that, like, when in doubt, for, like, DMCA or, like, copyright music, a lot of, like, independent, like, Vocaloid producers, you could still, like, listen to their music on streams, like, unfettered, and I don't know what that means anymore. But, hey! Miku emotes. Miku can hit the gritty now. You know what's crazy about that? Not that she can hit the gritty now, she's always been able to hit the gritty because of MMD. So literally everything that she's doing in Fortnite, people have already, because they already have access to her like 3D model and the files, you can literally make Miku do just about any of these emotes already. She's just, now she has a gun. That's about it. Now she has a gun and she's playable in Fortnite. And I'm just like, honestly, it was a matter of time. It was only a matter of time. You might have to play the Fortnite PvE mode so you can get V-Buck to buy the queen. Ooh, I have not played Fortnite in a hot minute. You can out here in Jordan's now, though. Like, you could, like, honestly, now, I don't know, it's just like, well, you could, it's like having Eminem and Post, is Eminem in Fortnite, or is it just Post Malone? I don't know. That's how long it's been since I've played. I don't keep track. I know Ariana Grande. There's Ariana Grande, Peter Griffin, Post Malone. I don't know who else. I don't know who else. Everybody's in Fortnite. Everybody's here. Eminem, MLK, Nicki Minaj. All of them. Everybody's here. Do 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 do. Oh, before I get distracted, the last thing I want to talk about was Crystal Saga. There is something I wanted to show you guys. Fortnite win One Piece? Okay. I wanted to show you guys this, but I'm gonna have to airdrop it from my iPad to my phone because I worked on a couple of spells in Procreate, as I said before. I worked on a bit of spell art in Procreate because it was easier for me to do it in Procreate than it was for me to use Clip Studio Paint. But I don't really know how they look, per se. Like, I don't really know what they look like. I think they look good, but I don't know if they would look good as trading card art. So, since you're both here right now, I'm gonna ask your opinion. So I'm gonna see if I can airdrop it. Can I? Oh God, did it work? Okay. There's one. I posted it in the art gallery in Discord. So this is supposed to be, if you're in Discord, !Discord, where you can get all kinds of weird little updates and you can see art and you can hang out with a bunch of other people. It only worked. Just join the Discord. You can get the link in my Twitch YouTube is really just for kind of chatting and hanging out with you guys. I don't think I have the Discord link under the YouTube description. So, you know, sorry. You can just go to my Twitch, follow me there because I stream there too. But yeah, this is the art for the Clarity Snow card that is coming out in the Valiant Light expansion. And obviously it looks very, very, very different from like what I've normally done for spells. With, if you have the Magical Beginnings deck, you can look and see what those spells look like, pardon me, in relation to this. And like, just think of like a little bit of like that, like the, obviously the snowflake part is going to be like with the cards on. And I wouldn't have been able to do that in Procreate, or not in Procreate. I wouldn't have been able to do this in Clip Studio because it would have taken way longer. This took me like 10 minutes to make. Like, I went, oh, and that's what this spell is going to look like. It took me maybe about 10-15 minutes. And let me export this one as well while I'm exporting. I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties with my face. Oh god. Now I've broken it. I've broken it, SpongeBob. Beep. Well, great. Just fucking great. There we go. Can't have shit in Detroit! It's fine. There we go. I had to restart it. There you go. Okay. Okay, I fixed it. Okay. It does look very different, but in a good way. Like, I think it's the abstractness of it adds to the fact that it's a spell. Because, like, you know how you see spells? I think it's very interesting that when you see spells in trading card games, they're still technically objects. I wanted to, like, show magic. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show magic. And the only way I could really do that is by, like, kind of creating, like, what a magic spell would look like. And, like, this one, I think the second one that's in Discord is what's going to be the art for the Cosmic Distortion page. Or, I said page, or card. And, once again, another one that I made in about 10-15 minutes, as opposed to, like, really struggling in other ways. Oh my god. Sorry. But, like, this, it looks a little weird. But, yeah, see, definitely feels like Cosmic Distortion. Exactly. I'm like, this is what that spell looks like to me. So, I was able to just, like, put something together very, very quickly, thanks to, like, the tools that are in Procreate, and I can do it on, like right there in my lap, instead of having to hunch over on Clip Studio and learn how to do all of these things that don't necessarily, like, do what I want it to do. This was like, bam, 10-15 minutes and now I'm out. So, if you guys like that, then I could probably do more like this. As long as it's labeled, people will get the idea. Well, of course it's gonna be labeled. That's the card. But yeah, sorry, I had to airdrop those real quick. In order to send them to you. In order to post them to the Discord, because of course my iPad isn't connected to any social media whatsoever. It is literally just an art tool, nothing more, nothing less. But I'm glad you guys like them, and if you like them, then that means that I can keep going. There's a few more that it's kind of hard to get the idea of what the spell is going to look like, but I'm working on it. But yeah, bam, Crystal Saga, or Valiant Light update. Also, here's hoping that other people like what I'm doing, because I'm secretly trying to make friends on I'm actually falling for the engagement bait, because there are people out there who, like, they'll post, I don't know, you've seen it. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me, like, trying to just kind of, like, weasel my way. Not weasel, I guess weasel is the wrong way to say it. But, like, really trying to, like, communicate more with others in the community. And I think there was one who was trying to set up a podcast and, like, get guests on her podcast. And I was like, yeah, why not? I see them on Twitter all the time. If they're actually trying to, like, host an event, I'll take part in it. Yeah, I want to do that. Whether I'll work in the system, I know, but I'm trying. So, like, if you guys, then I could talk more about Crystal Saga, because I've always got these thoughts in my head, but I feel really bad when, like, I start talking about it, because I'm like, half y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. And in order to explain it to you, I'd have to start over from scratch. And everyone else who's been here since the beginning would be like, ah, fuck, not from the beginning, you know? And they'd be like, no, do not make her start over from the beginning. We will be here all night. And they're right, you will be. You're right, you will be. But I figure it's just a way, because I haven't really talked about it in a while. I keep wanting to make videos on it, but I'm not really sure which format I should go for. You should get an iPad strictly for your writing sessions. You should. You should. I think it's nice, now that I have one, I think it's really nice to have a creative tool that is portable. Because obviously I had my tablet, but it wasn't as portable as I originally thought it would be. It is still very, very useful for when I'm working, like, right here. But if I ever have to go to, like, my family's or do any, like, anything, then it's nice to be able to still work on the go. Bold of you to think that one night is enough. You're absolutely right. It's going to take at least 3 business days. Because we're going to have to go through the magic system. We're going to have to go through the calendar system. We're going to have to go through the locales. We're going to have to go through, like, the logistics of the magic. We're going to have to go through the characters. We're going to have to go through how the characters relate to each other. And we're going to have to go through, like, the government system. There really isn't one, but there kind of is, because I really hate, like, politics, and most of the time when it comes to writing about politics, I just kind of like to give, like, a couple of bold blanket statements about what's going on and let everybody else fill in the blanks. And then if someone gets something that's close enough, or just be like, oh, this sounds like what's going on, I'd be like, you're absolutely right, that's what's going on. That's such a good point. Yep, wow, I totally thought of that myself, and not in the moment when you made a really good connecting point that I am not going to write down. I may not be day one, but I'm an early bird. I know enough. I mean, that's good enough. That's good enough. Maybe the next yapping stream is the day after Christmas. Ooh. Do I want to stream the day after Christmas? Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind. Speaking of next streams coming up, actually, so I know I have on to this week's schedule, Christmas papayas. Christmas papayas. Yeah. This is the last papaya before Christmas. Crazy. But I do have I do have one more stream. Possibly, I think I have 2 more streams planned for, before the holidays. But the next one, which is tomorrow, isn't technically my stream. As you guys may or may not have seen, Zuzu, which I need to post that again. Zuzu, which she is another VTuber. She's a bun overlord. She's very cute, very funny, very knowledgeable. Very smart, very smart. She is planning a VTuber holiday recital, which I will actually be a part of, where we have all decided to, like, pick a song, and we're going to sing it and help spread, like, holiday cheer in any way we can. So I'm going to be taking part in that recital tomorrow. I think it's going to be it's going to start at about 11 p.m. EST my time, so it'll be pretty early or pretty late, depending on where you live. For me, that's going to be pretty late, obviously. That's, like, probably about the latest I've ever streamed. But I'm not going to be actually streaming. I think I will just be kind of, like, popping in live on Zuzu's channel, which is kind of what I prefer, because it's her event, and I kind of want it to, like, I want her to be the host, and I want her to focus on her event. I would feel bad for streaming during the event, because I don't want to, even if I don't want it to be a squad stream or anything. I'm also not the only one participating. There are at least, like, 15 other VTubers and talents that are participating as well. So I'm not going to be live on my channel. I will just kind of be popping in on their channel, and when they go live, I will try to like link to their channel and all of their socials and stuff, just because it's their event, their moment to shine, and I think what they're doing is really, really cool. And I'm actually really happy that they let me participate. Even though I'm kind of really nervous to sing. I have chosen a song. I need to kind of practice it, especially since I'm going to be singing it live, but it's okay. Another smart bunny girl, they're multiplying. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Ha 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 ha. We keep multiplying and there's still only one of you. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Wow. Possibilities are endless. But, yeah. But yeah, so that's gonna be happening tomorrow. And I think I don't have a stream planned for the weekends because I am busy during the weekends and I will not be able to stream effectively. But I will see you guys again on Monday, Christmas Eve, or the 23rd for some of you. And I plan to have a small little webcam, not webcam, what am I saying? This is a webcam stream. I plan to have a little hand cam stream of like just kind of making some Christmas goodies, or like just kind of hanging out. Maybe I'll make a Christmas cocktail and we're just kind of chill as like a little like pre-Christmas adventure. And then more than likely I will not see you guys again until after the holidays for our post-Christmas Papaya stream. Return of the Gloves. Return of the Gloves! Ah! But yeah, I'm really nervous / excited about tomorrow because most of the time when I sing, it is either the mic cuts out because I go too hard, or like I'm just not good and it's not a good time for anybody. But I'm gonna try my best tomorrow, and like everyone's really kind of hyping each other up, so hopefully we kind of keep that energy going and like keep everyone's like confidence high, and then it's just a good time. Yeah. So hopefully I will remember to link Zuzu's channel in the Discord, and I'm going to repost it on Twitter, and I hope you all can enjoy it, and I hope I see you guys there. If not, that is okay. Yeah, she'll probably clip it. I'll probably clip it. I'll probably go in there and clip it and be like, hey, I was there, I did this. Hey, I'm in the thumbnail. Okay? I'm in the thumbnail. Good job. Good job, me. No trivia. Thanks so much. But that's enough for today. I have actually yapped for 2 hours straight, and there's not enough lemonade or cough drops in the world. I just need to stop talking. I just need to stop. So yeah, I am gonna go work on more Christmas presents and just kind of hang around on the floor for a while. I will see you guys next time, but until I see you again, I want you to have a good afternoon, I want you to have a good morning, afternoon, evening, twilight, sunrise, sunset, golden hour, golden shower. I want you to be nice to yourselves, I want you to be nice to others, and I want you to stay hydrated. Thank you guys so much again for coming to hang out on Etro Radio, the only papaya on the airwaves, and I will see you next time. Goodbye me. Good Mimi. Good Mimis. Have a good Maymays and good streams. Meow 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 meow.